Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dilmer again and welcome back to my channel. So first of all, thank you very much for joining the channel. I really appreciate your time. I know a lot of you have joined recently, so thank you very much for doing that. And today I'm pretty excited because I'm going to be talking about basically thinking about making games 24/7. Why do I think so much about making games? Why am I so passionate about making games? And also which is why some of you might be passionate about making games. And when I say 24/7, I'm not saying that I'm working on a game 24/7. I'm saying that I'm thinking about a game for the most part, and then the remaining time I'm actually working in the game engine. I'm basically coming up with mechanics. I'm creating levels and so on. So I wanna basically tell you why I love making games and how we can actually take some of that love into the actual game and basically tell you my experience, which is always thinking about game and actually making games and prototyping. So like many of you, I'm always thinking about games. I go to bed and I think about games. I wake up in the morning, and in fact my wife told me today, Dilmer, do you think about games all the time? And she knows me. I mean, when I first started making games, she really saw making games for me like one of those projects that I had and I wanted to experiment with, and I was gonna move on. And over the last few years, she has been realizing that making games is not just a project that I do once and I just move on. To me, making games is bigger than that, and she's realizing that now. She tells me that I'm always thinking about games and I'm super passionate about making games. She asks me all the time, how are you doing with your new game? Do you need any support? Do you need any help? My parents, they do know that as well. So when I'm saying thinking about games, I know that a lot of you are always thinking about this. You might be working on a game, you might be thinking about a mechanic that you want to incorporate into that game, or simply you want to make a game but you haven't really pushed yourself to do that. I've been in all those situations where I wanted to make a game but I didn't really feel capable of doing it, or I was afraid about doing it, or I thought I didn't have enough time. And all of those are completely okay reasons, and those are reasons that I had at the very beginning. But I think I moved from that phase to the next phase, which is I couldn't see myself doing something else other than making games. I do have a day job and I still need to support my family, but any time that I have remaining or any time that I have left, I try to focus on making games. To me, making games is much bigger than just working on the game. To me, making games, it's the whole process. It's basically the dream that we had at some point, or the idea that we had at some point, and then bringing that idea into life, talking to other people about joining my team, and basically prototyping, getting an artist to help me out. That entire process, and then releasing, and before releasing, trying to talk to the platforms in order to get try to get features. So that whole process is beautiful. That whole process is amazing. And the reason why I think it's so amazing is because think about it. You have an idea, and 1 year from today you're gonna see that idea in the store. You're gonna see that idea being played by a lot of people, or even if you get that idea by getting played by your kids, getting played by your family members. That's what I think it's the most amazing feeling, is when you start to get to that point. The 24/7 thinking process of a game is because a lot of times I might be working on a game in the morning, and then throughout the day I'm just thinking about, okay, how can I make this game unique? How can I make the art unique? How can I get some references to help me push my game, the boundaries of my games? And the reason why I think about a lot is because I love doing it. To me, making a game is not just work. To me, making a game, it's basically a creative process that I love. It's like a hobby, but it's much bigger than a hobby. It's a culture, and that's really what I want you to pay attention to. Is if you're thinking about making a game, what I would do is I would try to prototype something very simple, and I really hope this happens. And this happened to me when I was actually prototyping. I actually fell in love with making games when I saw that my code actually was moving the character. My code was actually making the character be vivid in a world that didn't exist. That to me is what really gave me the chills. That's what I say. It's bigger than just one game. To me, when you start making and basically giving a brain to a game that didn't exist, that's when it becomes wonderful. And there's nothing else out there that I've done in my career. And I've been doing games, I've been doing apps, I've been doing websites, I've been doing a lot of different things, but making games is one of those things that are so unique and that I can do at my own pace. Like I always tell people, you might be thinking about your game 24/7, but there's really no rush. Like, don't really rush it, don't really push yourself to do things that you might not be able to do because you might not have enough time. So making a game, and especially an indie game, I find it that I can do it at my own pace. I can do it, when my kids go to bed, when my wife goes to bed. I can spend some of my time making games. I can wake up earlier in the morning, work on my games. So that's the beauty about making a game. The thing that I really tell people to do is make sure that you're spending time every day if you can. And when I say don't rush it, I don't want you to be stressed or overwhelmed about trying to push your boundaries of your time, of your family. I want you to keep a healthy lifestyle, and at the same time you gotta be happy, you gotta enjoy life, you gotta spend some of the time. If making a game is what makes you happy, spend your time making games, but don't force yourself or push yourself to do things that you couldn't do. And especially if it's gonna hurt your family, try to spend time with them. And then find time, if it's little, if it's just 30 minutes, an hour a day, that's still time that you can add to your game. So that's really what I wanted to talk to you about today. If you guys have any questions about anything that I mentioned, let me know through the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share this video. Thank you, guys.